Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. We're right where we left off. I'm just kind of checking things out and stuff. Today we are going to be starting a new habitat. We're going to be doing a mixed habitat with the sable antelope and the African buffalo. Um, as you can see, I'm just kind of looking for him. But I'll go ahead and speed that up. Alright, so now I'm kind of just looking a little bit into the sable antelopes just to kind of see what they can live with and things like that, and just looking for them. It took a really long time to find a couple sable antelopes, um, but I eventually did do it. This is me building the perimeter of the habitat. It ended up being too small and I had to redo it. I also made it crooked. I tried my best to like make it straight, but I just was not doing a good job. And I kind of figured out how I need to do the borders now too. When it comes to the habitats, when you're doing an edge, you need to like put your cursor on the corner, and that'll make it snap. So now I know that. But yeah, I ended up having to redo this right here because the path was not working. Also, next episode, I'm not gonna have this same format. So I'm gonna do like a normal video, um, where I just record live instead of like this where I'm doing commentary later. And then when we actually build stuff is when I'll like speed it up. Because I think that'll work a little better. But yeah, so currently just trying to figure out the situation for the sable antelope. I'm also constantly messing with the exhibit animals. Right here I'm building a pond because I want to have a natural water source for them. And then I found out too small, so we're extending it a little bit. And then right here is kind of where I was having some issues with the perimeter. I ended up, I think it's still pretty crooked, but I ended up getting it straighter than it initially was when I started doing it, so that was good. But yeah, I'm kind of learning how to do this finally, how to build habitats and things like that. It's just something that takes some time, and you gotta just get used to it, you know. But yeah, so right here, just doing a straight path. Well, trying my best. Um, and yeah, it ended up being decently straight. Then we're gonna just switch that over to glass, and then yeah, I'm constantly just checking for sable antelope, trying to find males. It's really hard, apparently. And then our African wild dogs were actually breeding quite a bit while I was recording this. I ended up throwing all three of the sable antelope in there though, and then now I'm just putting up some education boards and things like that, so that the customers will be happy because they're learning. I did make a mistake and put down the wrong education boards though. And now I'm adding it to the work zone. That way the mechanic or the engineer, I mean, and stuff like that works on it, and the keepers. I'm putting a feeding trough in the front so that people can see them pretty well. And then right here, I'm just kind of going through, doing some stuff with the terrain and the environment. So adding some rocks, just to make it look a little nicer. I'm just kind of doing my best to sink them in and things like that, and just hope that it turns out well. And I think it did. I think it turned out pretty well. It turned out kind of how I wanted it to. So I did want to have a little bit more rocks in the base, but then I was like, I didn't want to overwhelm the area though. Adding some vegetation in from their natural environment. I added some reeds because it's water. Reeds look good in water, you know. Just to add some vegetation. Add a couple bushes as well, and a palm tree. It just makes the whole environment look a lot nicer when you put in a couple bits of plants and things like that. Adding some soil around the pond there, just so it looks a little nicer and because they need it. Then adding some sand around the soil, just to make it have a little bit of a nice gradient change into grass. And then now I'm doing the hard shelter. This took me a minute to kind of get how I wanted to, and it's not perfect. It's not exactly how I wanted it to be, but I think it still came out really good. So I'm doing the same thing we did with African wild dogs. I'm using some of this mud wall panels, and I went with the taller ones. I believe I went with the 4 meter, and the other ones for the African wild dogs I believe were 2. So kind of just trying to get this to go, and then I kind of had to reset a couple of times because it would just turn on its side for no reason. But yeah, so I'm basically doing the same thing I did with the African wild dogs, but I will be changing it up shortly at the end of this, and you guys will see that. But yeah, so I started doing this. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna do this. It's gonna look good, right? And then I decided to change it up. You'll see here in a second. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to get these to go exactly how I want them to. But in the end, I think they came out pretty decent. So right now I'm making it so it's open all along the front face, which is different. This is something that I tried to do with African wild dogs, but I couldn't make it look right. And then right here I'm putting in the same beams from the African wild dog habitat. They're larger. And I'm just putting these to kind of hide the seams of the walls, and also just to kind of give it the look of it has support, so it's not just floating walls. And then I put these in the corners just so it looks nice. And then now we're going to put them sideways because I'm putting a trim piece along the roof. Just to make it look different, just to make it look a little better. I thought that the African wild dogs habitat looked a little rushed, and it is. We'll eventually probably go back and redo some of these habitats, but for now, I think I'm happy with the way this came out. I will go back and fix it eventually, like I said, but right now I'm still kind of learning how to play the game and kind of just learning how to structure everything. I have been reading the comments. Thank you. This is the most support I've ever gotten on a series by far, and I am listening to what you guys are saying. I will be doing quarantine, and we'll probably do some smaller animals next. I'm thinking some kind of reptile, because we could do a very tiny walkthrough. Walkthrough habitat, which we haven't done yet, and I would really like to do that. I don't know how you're supposed to do walkthrough habitats, but I would like to try it. So we'll see what happens. And then now this is where it's different, like quite a bit from the African wild dog. I'm putting in glass along one side of the hard shelter. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. And this is so that people could see them while they were sleeping, and I think it might improve ratings. I don't know for sure. None of that is like proven. I mean, it's probably proven, but I don't know for sure. I did that because I thought it would look I thought it would be beneficial in terms of money and things like that. And then here I'm kind of starting to do research on building pieces, because I didn't even think about it until right now. And then, as you can see here, I'm still trying to find African buffaloes, and it's so hard to find males. And then I did have to go and extend the African wild dog area, and this is where it gets rough. So the African wild dog hard shelter is already rough as is. This made it rougher. It does not look great. But like I said, I'm still learning. Ended up finding out can't duplicate any of this, by the way, because they're connected, so it counts it as multiple buildings, and you can't expand them at all. So that was very sad to see. Anyway, I'm extending it all the way up to the glass, hoping that it'll be enough. It ended up being a decent amount. We're doing the same thing here with the glass on one side along the outer perimeter glass, just so people could see in. These will eventually get changed to one-way glass, but I don't have it unlocked currently, so I wasn't able to do it. But yeah. So just doing this, I had to do it right here because any closer and it like bugs out. So I had to do it kind of away from the wall, sadly. Putting in the edge pieces like I was doing with the other habitat, just to hide the seams of the glass with the walls, and then I'm just covering. I'm just putting it there for aesthetics. I don't know why I did it in the back either. I think it was just to make it look like proper, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why I did it in the back. And then I'm just extending the roof. Just doing the same thing. But yeah, this hard shelter is pretty rough in my opinion. It does not look great. But it was our first attempt. And I think honestly it ended up coming out pretty decent for our first attempt. And then I'm just putting in some grass, some elephant grass, just to kind of make the pathways a little better and hide some stuff. And then I just put a bush here just to kind of just to have some foliage. We'll probably decorate a little more later, but just to kind of decorate a little bit. And then I remembered we need a water pump for the water so it doesn't get bad. And we also need a transformer because it's out of range. And then I just ended up building a little structure around it just so it's enclosed a little bit and looks a little nicer. Right here, I don't know. I was trying to do something with the roof, and I don't know. I was just like brain dead or something. I couldn't figure out what to do. And then I ended up going with just the normal, like slanted roof, and it's just open on one side, which is fine. I just wanted the roof to kind of mask it a little bit or whatever, make it look like a building. So I ended up just sealing the sides in, like so. And then I just sealed the top lip up. And I was having issues here. The servers kept kicking me out of franchise mode. But yeah, so that's the building I ended up making. And then this enclosure isn't done at all. But putting down the education because I forgot to redo it. Just throwing on some signs and things like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish up with the habitat here, and then yeah, we were unable to really get too much into the interspecies stuff, just because time and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's where we are now. So next episode, like I said, we might mess with that habitat a little more. But I want to start a new enclosure, possibly a walkthrough. I tried to put in a zebra. I couldn't because it was lonely, so I had to take it out, but that's not in the footage. Okay. But yeah, so we're gonna put the zebra in. We're waiting for him to deliver it, but it ended up just not working out. I had to take the zebra out, but I think I did that off camera. But we just have to get more zebras. It was a social thing. The zebra just couldn't live. Oh, I'm putting the male sable antelope in there. He did make kids, by the way. Because I was on here for a couple minutes after, just kind of checking the stores and stuff, waiting for stuff to pop up. He impregnated all three of them, of our females. The zebra, though, just it doesn't have enough people in its group, so I ended up having to take it out. Like I said, next episode's going to be structured different. I recorded this when I couldn't like actually do mic, so it ended up being like this. Anyway, though, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see on the channel in the future. And next episode will be longer, I promise. But yeah, stay safe out there, and peace out, guys.